What's going on, everybody? My name's Security Denied, and welcome back to the Average Gamer's Perspective on the TWID, also known as This Week in Destiny. This Week in Destiny, it's last call to earn those Solstice rewards while they're hot. We've also heard you wanted to hear about Warlocks and have a preview of some ability changes coming with Ashen Iron next month. Here's everything we have lined up. Solstice last call, Warlock changes, Crucible reward changes, Bungie store Solstice sales selection, Bungie Foundation emblem. You are reading the TWID. That is correct. Yes, I am. Solstice final week. Time flies when you're having fun under the tower's summer sun, but Solstice is wrapping up soon, and we wanted to give you a friendly nudge to make sure you're not missing out on any of those sweet, sweet rewards. If you've been putting off finishing the event rewards track and grabbing those holofoil versions of Yeartide Apex, Festival Flight, or Fortunate Star, now's the time to dive in before the event wraps up on August 19th. Check out last week's TWID for a full rundown on everything that is up for grabs, but act fast. Alright. Warlock abilities tuning preview for 9.1.0. Warlocks are finally getting something new. Warlocks and their space magic abilities. We're seeing some great usage of Warlock constructs such as Child of the Old Gods, Bleak Watcher, Hellion, Arc Soul, and Ionic Sentry. In the near future, we're planning to enable deeper build crafting with these constructs. Additionally, a few builds are starting to stand out, like the Prismatic build leveraging Lightning Surge to effectively delete champions at a moment's notice. While we're happy with how players are building into the above abilities, we're also seeing feedback and working on a handful that aren't felt to be as potent. This limits variety in build crafting, and we're looking to address that. A few strand abilities don't shine as brightly as we wish. A handful of exotics need bug fixes, and we're aware that players desire more grenade-centric builds to feel powerful in endgame content. While some of the above will take time to address, we're planning a tuning pass for Ashen Iron, also known as a major update in 9.1.0, coming in early September. We are still testing these changes and finalizing how everything should work, so some things may shift, but these are our first steps in helping Warlocks feel a bit more love for their space magic. Hunters, Titans, don't fret. We'll be back in the next few weeks to discuss more changes coming. You won't be left out. Good. Because I don't play a Warlock. I have a character, but I don't use it. Warlocks. Abilities. Empowering Rift, class ability. Standing in Empowering Rift now generates grenade, melee, and class ability energy over time. Final blows while standing in Empowering Rift now generate bonus, special, and heavy ammo progress. It's actually huge. You get a big bump, or like a good buff to using Empowering Rift. It definitely needed it. Weave Walk, strand aspect. Exiting Weave Walk now grants Woven Mail for you and nearby allies. Woven Mail duration is relative to time spent in Weave Walk. Increase horizontal movements on enter and exit. Increase fragment slot from 2 to 3. Alright, there's a little more build crafting capabilities for Weave Walk. Also, a little more survivability when exiting Weave Walk, which is nice. So that'll be good for you guys, I think. Weaver's Call, Strand and Prismatic Aspect, now generates Roosted Threadling progress when giving damage of any type. Threadling damage now returns class ability energy, works on all Threadling damage while this aspect is equipped. Alright, so a little more build crafting opportunity for Threadlings. Frost Pulse, Stasis Aspect, freezing enemies now generates class ability energy, works on all stasis freezes while this aspect is equipped. Alright. Pocket Singularity, Void and Prismatic Melee, now has 2 charges at base. Projectile lifetime increased from 1.1 seconds to 2 seconds. Reworked projectile tracking to favor targets closest to initial trajectory. Reduced detonation knockback on players by 50%. Alright, good changes. Exotic Armor, Eunoia. Increase projectile damage at max range from 15% to 20%. Tune distance to damage curve to make the maximum damage distance easier to identify. Increase projectile tracking by 40%. In addition to the primary projectile, the sub-projectiles now benefit from Ember of Ashes and Ember of Eruption. Oh, very nice. General abilities. Threadlings increase damage versus combatants by 20%. Nice. Upcoming fixes. A few weeks ago, we examined feedback and bug reports for a few notable exotics. We wanted to provide a brief update on some of these investigations. We've already updated a few in prior patch notes, so these represent the remaining upcoming changes. Starfire Protocol. We confirmed an issue where Starfire Protocol was not returning as much energy as expected on empowered hits. We fixed this issue, raising it to the intended 5% with the fix deploying in 9.0.0.7. Crown of Tempest. We're continuing to investigate an issue where Crown of Tempests no longer grants stacks on multi-kills. We are aiming to have a fix when Renegades goes live. Interesting. So that must be a pretty deep bug that they got to weed out if it's not going to be able to be fixed until Renegades. Rhymecoat Raiment. We're continuing to investigate an issue where Rhymecoat Raiment generated stasis crystals inconsistently applied Devour when Feed the Void is active. We believe we're honing in on a fix, and we're looking to have a fix for when Renegades goes live. Boots of the Assembler. We've confirmed an issue where Boots of the Assembler's Noble Rounds won't work on a teammate that enters the Warlock's Rift. A fix will be deployed during our 9.1.0 major update, Ashen Iron. Wings of Sacred Dawn. After investigating reports around Wings of Sacred Dawn, we've concluded that we missed a patch note with the Edge of Fate's release. It is intended that Wings no longer reloads your equipped weapon, as this led to some problematic behaviors around single-shot magazine weapons such as bows. Controverse Hold. We've received reports that this doesn't return energy as expected, and after investigation, we believe this to be true specifically with some combatants in the firing range only. We're looking to update the firing range combatants in a future update. Alright. Nezarec Sin. We saw reports to the regeneration buff no longer working during multi-kill streaks and believe this to may have been resolved in 9.0.0.5 alongside the fix to the sprint bug. We'll be keeping an eye on any future reports. In the coming weeks, we're also planning to communicate more about the future of class fantasies. What is it to be a Warlock? What are some of the fantasies we're hitting right now, and where do the classes need more work? We're excited to show you what else we're cooking, so stay tuned for more info. Crucible Power and Rewards. Last week, we talked about some of the changes we are working on to continue to improve the feel of rewards and progression across the game. One of the areas we called out was Crucible Ops, and we've got more details on what we have planned to make Crucible feel more rewarding and better to progress up through the power bands in. Earlier this week, we shipped Destiny 2 Update 9.0.0.6 with a handful of changes targeting post-match rewards frequencies, in addition to raising the reward floor to have less disparity between low and high skill. Here is a list of issues we fixed in Update 9.0.0.6. Everyone in a match now has a chance to earn an additional role as opposed to one player per team. The competitive playlist weapon Solemn Remembrance has a chance to drop on completion instead of wins. Lowered the B grade score threshold for reward ranks Copper and Bronze, power 10 to 300. This makes it easier to earn bonus drops and bonus focus rewards in PvP. Increase the gear tier for B+ at reward ranks Bronze and Silver, power 200 to 400. Very nice. I think those are some good changes for Crucible, especially the Solemn Remembrance chance drop rate increase. I know a lot of people have been complaining that they have to grind way too much and hope for a win in order to get it. We have more changes upcoming in Update 9.1.0. We're making Crucible Ops more rewarding for all players, along with targeted adjustments for early power bands. Increasing bonus drop frequency when playing Crucible Ops, increasing the amount of score earned on losses, retuning score thresholds for all grades at rewards ranks Copper and Bronze, power 10 to 300, to make earning higher power and gear tier more consistent. Increasing the highest potential gear tier at reward ranks Copper and Bronze and Silver, power 10 to 400, increasing power adjusters for PvP, power 10 to 300. We're definitely not stopping with the Crucible and have more PvE reward changes coming in the future, including the Desert Perpetual Raid. We'll share more in the weeks ahead. Sweet. Definitely giving a better reason to go into certain activities if they're going to be changing the rewards. Scorch and savings on the Bungie store. Celebrate Solstice with Solstice savings in the Bungie store until August 19th at 9:59 a.m. In addition to new savings, enjoy $7.77 flat rate shipping during the event. Any purchases made on the Bungie store during Solstice savings will also come with Sunburst Destiny 2 emblem. Solstice savings is the perfect time to pick up the Edge of Fate Bungie rewards now available for purchase on the Bungie store. Strike through weapon and unlock your Bungie rewards today. Sweet. There's some things that you get to earn. All right. Bungie Foundation support Ronald McDonald House Charities. Bungie Foundation here with a quick update on how you can make a difference for families and children receiving critical medical care. Bungie Foundation here with a quick update on how you can make a difference for families of children receiving critical medical care. The Bungie Foundation is once again partnering with Ronald McDonald House Charities to support their amazing work, providing services that remove barriers, strengthen families, and promote healing when children need healthcare far from home. More than a place to stay, Ronald McDonald House offers families a private room for rest and recovery, home-cooked meals and fully stocked pantry, laundry facilities, toiletries and essentials, therapy dogs and emotional support programs, a built-in community that understands. Donate $25 today to this worthy cause and snag a brand new Tartan Tribute emblem. The campaign will run until 8/28 at 11:59 p.m. and emblems will be distributed via email on 8/29. Grab your emblem today and wear it with pride, knowing you're making a difference. That's pretty good. I like it. It feels like a kind of like a quilt, with the Warlock, Hunter, and Titan emblems. I like it. That's very cool. All right, short twid today. Going over mostly addressing concerns about Warlocks and their abilities, tuning how they work and the buffs that they give. So I think that a lot of good changes for Warlocks in specific, especially for the exotic armors. I know they've been having a lot of bugs. I'm excited to see what kind of changes they make to abilities in the future other than melee. I'm excited to see different grenade builds that they can at least give us, because I know I personally love using grenades, and as a hunter we don't really use a lot of grenades, we don't really do melee, and we don't really do class ability. I mean, we have class ability, but it doesn't affect anything, right? Our class ability can give us more melee with Gambler's Dodge, but like other than that, the Hunter's class ability, in my personal opinion, is only good in melee builds, and it doesn't really do a whole lot outside of that. There is a dodge that gives you radiant, but other than that, it's meh. It doesn't feel like it has a huge impact. And we don't have a lot of builds to go around it, at least that are functional. But then again, I haven't played a lot recently, so we'll see. I don't know. There's nothing really enticing me to the game right now, so I've just kind of been playing other games until my want to play Destiny is back. But I'm still going to be here covering the news, looking for things to come back to. And I think for Warlocks, making all these changes will be a good time to come back and use some of the builds that you've been wanting to build into, and now they're feasible thanks to these changes. Crucible now has a better reason to go in and play Crucible to get up to power, so I think that's really good change. But yeah, that's pretty much all the changes this week. Let me know down in your comments, and in your comments, they're my comments. Let me know down in the comment section down below what your thoughts and opinions are on Destiny as a whole, or the TWID, or whatever related to this game. But yeah, thank you all for coming and watching this week's episode of The Average Gamer's Perspective, and I look forward to next week to covering more Destiny 2 news. Thank you for coming and watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye!